Hi, third grade. Today we're going to be reading a folk tale called True or False. It says, as you read, look inside, around, and beyond these words to figure out what they mean. Fuss and disbelief. So those are some good vocabulary words to pay attention to. Let's start with paragraph 1. There once were 3 poor brothers who loved to tell tall tales. They traveled throughout the countryside telling wild stories. They always claimed that their tales were true, but no one ever believed them. One day, the 3 brothers met a rich traveler. The man was dressed in fine clothes and wore shining jewels. The brothers wanted his things. Let's ask him to play a game. Each of the 4 of us will tell a tale of a past adventure. The rule is that if anyone doubts the truth of another story, he must become that person's servant. The man will never believe our stories. Getting him to doubt our stories will be like rolling off a log. He will have to become our servant. The others liked this plan. They did not want a servant, but they wanted the man's fine things. The man agreed to the game. The first brother told a story of how he had climbed a tree and could not get down. So he ran to a nearby cottage and borrowed a rope. The second brother told of jumping into the stomach of a tiger who wanted to eat him. I made such a fuss that the tiger spit me out, he said. Did these sound believable? The third told of helping the village fisherman. He said he turned into a fish and jumped into the river. There, he turned back into a man and killed the big fish that were eating all the little fish. The rich man listened to the 3 tales without saying one word of disbelief. Then he told his story. He said he was searching for 3 servants who had run away from him. You 3 must be the ones I am looking for, he said. The brothers looked at him with alarm. If they doubted him, they must become his servants. That was their rule. But if they said his story was true, they would have to become his servants too. They said nothing. Finally, the man said he would let them go if they promised never to tell tall tales again. The brothers agreed, and they kept their promise. I think they learned a lesson. It says, use what you learned from reading the selection to respond to these questions. Number the items to show the order of some events in the story. Each brother told his make-believe story. Did that happen first? 3 brothers talked a rich traveler into playing a game. The rich man made them promise not to tell tall tales. I think that happened towards the end. The rich man told them a story. The rich man did not question the brothers' stories. The brothers realized they were trapped. Okay, let's look at question 2. This question has 2 parts. And for question 1, you're just writing what happened first, put it 1. What happened second, put it 2. You're sequencing those events. Number 2, first answer part A and then answer part B. Why did the 3 brothers want to play a game with the traveler? They were trying to trick him. Is it A, they wanted to see if he would believe their tall tales? B, they wanted to trick him so they could have what he owned? C, they disliked people who had more money than they did? Or D, they were once the rich traveler's servants? Okay, part B. Write a sentence from paragraph 2 that supports the answer you chose for part A. So you need to write a sentence from paragraph 2. And if you go back into the story, notice how the paragraphs are all numbered. What proves, underline it first maybe and then copy it. What proves why they wanted to play that game with the traveler? Okay. Number 3, which is the best recounting of the third brother's story? Ooh, I might have to go back in the text and see what the third brother told. He plays a trick on the fisherman. He pretends to be a big fish catching small ones. I remembered it had to do with a fisherman. He gets away from the fisherman by swimming in the river like a fish. He helps the fisherman. He turns himself into a fish and then back into a person to kill a big fish. He becomes a fish so that he can help the fishermen chase fish into their nets. Now, to answer these questions, you should be going back into, oh, look, I think paragraph 6 talks about what the third brother told of helping the village fisherman. He turned into a fish and jumped into the river. He turned back into a man and killed the big fish that were eating all the little fish. Sounds like a tall tale, like a fib. So which one of those options for question 3 matches with paragraph 6? Okay, number 4. Which is the best description of the brother's problem at the end of the folktale? The brothers think the rich man's story is the best of all the stories they've heard. The rich man believes that the brothers are the runaway servants he is looking for. The brothers promise never to tell tall tales again, as they know they should not be doing that. Or no matter how the brothers answer the rich man, they will have to become his servants. Look back in the text at the end. What's their big problem? Okay. Let's go ahead down to number 5. Which 2 details could you leave out when recounting the story? Maybe they aren't the most important details. The brothers tell their tales throughout the countryside. The brothers ask a rich traveler to play a game. A tiger spit one brother out after eating him. The rich man said nothing about their brothers' stories. The rich man told a story about missing servants. The brothers agreed not to tell any more tall tales. I think I spy 2 that, yes, they're details, but I don't think they're the most important details in the story. All right, and number 6. Reread these sentences from paragraph 2. The man will never believe our stories. Getting him to doubt our stories will be like rolling off a log. What does the word doubt mean in this context? Dislike, understand, mistrust, enjoy. Okay, and then for number 7, I think you could answer very briefly this recount. In your own words, recount this folktale. You know, you want to write about the events in order that they happen and include your somebody, who were your main characters, what did they want, what was the problem, how did it get solved, and then how did it end at the very end. You do not need to worry about this last one here. All right, 3rd grade, do your very best.